back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
That was fun.
A little technical hiccup there, but we are back and we are live, and we appreciate you still being here with us and coming back as the folks gather back in here. Guys, so we were kind of at the tail end. They're talking about the Jada Parker and Roxanne Perez interview segment there that they were doing. The internet seems to be kind of coming down that the potential mystery woman being either Julia, Stephanie Vacker, and I even saw Cora Jade's name being tossed around a little bit on the interwebs. CJ, you seem to be in the Julia camp.
Well, and I mean, it would make sense. But even just the names that you rattled off, those are also really strong possibilities. Cora Jade being one that I think would be a really good story to try and tell, as long as she's not still injured. I don't know what her recovery window was.
Yeah. I'm not certain on that either, but I feel like though, like on social media and whatnot, I feel like she's been teasing a return lately. So I think there is a little bit of potential there. Again, obviously, as we were saying, Julia has, I believe, wrapped up her dates with Marigold. So I think she's clear to head that way. And I can't remember if it was her or Stephanie Vacker that this was said about, but I think it was Stephanie Vacker. It was basically when her work visa is good, she's good. So I mean, there's a lot of potentiality here.
Well, and hopefully there's either they pull the pin on introducing Julia, or because you don't want to wind up building up too much anticipation. And not that I'm assuming the worst, like not that she's gonna fail, but as far as getting the most out of having her on the brand, it's really pertinent that they introduce her before the end of the year at least.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it'd be a good place to do it. You know, I mean, and there, you know, it's also worth noting that, you know, September 1st, Sunday, is No Mercy. Mm-hmm. 1 month from then, October 1st, is NXT's debut on the CW. So I mean, we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a lot of ramp up here real quick as we lead into that. But definitely a lot of excitement to be had. And but CJ Brotherman, anything else on that interview segment, or shall we keep moving forward through the show?
I think that's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, that is going to take us into our next match on the card. We had a 6-person mixed tag match. The family, that being Stax, Crucifino, and Rizzo, taking on the No Quarter Catch crew, Dempsey, Bourne, and Sinclair. Fun match here. The family ends up getting the win in just about 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Personally, selfishly, I would have preferred to have seen the No Quarter Catch crew walk away with the victory here tonight. But it was a fun, solid 6-person tag match. Bell to bell, had a lot of fun with it. CJ, what'd you think of this one tonight?
I agree. This was a fantastic match. A great display for both teams. Rizzo fucking tossed Dempsey. Like, this match was insane. Loved it. Both teams have just been so entertaining and really showcasing themselves well lately. So hats off to all involved. This was a really fun match.
It really was. I was looking forward to it. It's just, there's just so much personality and so much character in the ring here tonight. Now, Tony D did come out with the family here. as well with the other family members in the family, made their way to the ring there tonight. He did leave the ring partway through the match, as apparently something very pressing came up, which we will find out what that was here a little bit later. But yeah, had a lot of fun with this one. No real complaints other than like I said, I'd kind of like the no quarter catch crew to start to go on that win streak. But considering this weekend the Dawn is getting a shot against Obafemi, I feel like this was kind of maybe designed to give Obafemi a little bit of momentum just by proxy. I'm sorry, not Obafemi, Tony D'Angelo a little bit of momentum by proxy. Sorry.
Oh, I think so, and just to be able to, well, we'll get to the bad news that the Dawn was getting, but I think there's. I had a thought, I lost it, but I'm still very much looking forward to this match.
Yeah, absolutely. But alrighty, so from there. We had Ethan. Was that? Yeah, from there. Yeah, that was the next segment. I think Ethan Page was hanging out in Ava's office, getting a little talking to for his actions last week. And he said he was ready to accept those consequences. Maybe he could be fined, or better idea, suspended. He should be suspended and have to miss no mercy. Yeah, he's. She
better
said,
yet, strip him of the title.
Yeah, that's
like that's what I would have said. Just if you really want to be a shithead, I'll treat you like a shithead. No more gold for you, buddy.
But it didn't come to that, luckily, for your NXT champion, All Ego Ethan Page. It's funny, by the way, if I write the word "your" on my phone now, it follows it up with NXT champion. I've written that so many times in comments and reviews. It's wild.
Your autofill just knows you, dude.
Yeah, it's a little scary sometimes. But moving on from there into the second hour of tonight's program, the face-to-face between Zachary Wentz and Wesley took place, and this was just a fantastic promo from both men. But I really just want to shout out Zachary Wentz's just emotion, and it was just so compelling, and he came across just real and genuine and just hurt, and you felt every bit of it. And it was just fantastic, and just contrasted by Wesley's just cold demeanor, calculating, almost no emotion for most of this, which I honestly didn't know Wes had it in him. Zach even said this. He's the most emotional guy on the planet, and he really is. Wesley is you look at him and he's a compassionate guy, but not now. Not evil Wesley. No. This man is cold. He has ice in his veins, but Zach Wentz doesn't, man. Zach Wentz's heart was 100% out in the open here tonight. I'm ready for this match. I want Zach Wentz to win it, but hell, I don't think that's probably the way it's going to go. But, man, CJ, brother, what did you think of this promo tonight?
I as cold as Wesley was, I do have to say that the first instance of Zachary Wentz, spilling emotion and his sort of "you need to calm down" energy, like it made me laugh. It was entertaining. And I thought that exactly what you said, the passion from Zachary Wentz was genuine. It was very heartfelt, and it was presented in a way that really only Zachary Wentz could. Like, going into the background of who was helping take care of Wesley when he was recovering from surgery, him still being that guy. And Wesley's going to turn on him despite all that. I felt like them going back to I am levels above you, like, or we're not on the same level. Like, hammering that point home initially felt to me like Wesley just forgot a line and had to fall back on that instead of saying something that he wouldn't be allowed to say. But I don't know, like, is that something that they're gonna try and really hammer home in some way at No Mercy?
Maybe, I don't know. It's the, like, we're not on the same level rhetoric. It felt a little catchphrasy. And I'm kind of hoping that's not what they're doing with it, because I don't think it really works that well. But, you know,
It's gonna be on a t-shirt.
I hope it's not. But I mean, but the Wesley heel character is young, you know, so it's, you know, kind of like, I don't want to really give it this much of a direct comparison, because I don't want to say this is, it's going to take this long to really get rolling for it. But, you know, when Roxy turned, it was kind of a slow build for her to really, really get her wheels rolling as a heel. You know, and I feel like he's off to a very good start, but I don't know. It's
well, and it's because the story is so personal, and because Wesley and Zachary Wentz work so well together, they know this is gonna work. But yeah, heel Wesley, I don't know if it exists after Zachary Wentz. We'll see.
Yeah, and that will be a big test of that, because like you said, like a lot of what's making this work, you know, a Wesley heel turn, I don't think could have really worked any other way than this way. And that will be a big test to see if he can carry over this level of, I don't know, hatred from the crowd against a different opponent. And, you know, maybe after he can kind of lean on something he touched on tonight, you know, when he was speaking of himself as an NXT superstar and Zach as a TNA wrestler. And he really put a lot of just like vitriol and disdain on wrestler. Which is so funny to hear Wesley do that. You know, like, Wesley's a goddamn wrestler. But, you know, you're a heel. It's what you do. And the crowd reacted to him saying it in such a foul way. Like, it just left this acrid taste in his mouth. So that they could lean on that. But it'll be interesting to see what they do to keep this heel momentum going post No Mercy this Sunday.
But I hope it's not, like, I hope they don't have to force it to try and make it work. Like, I don't want them to damage Wesley's stock by trying to make a heel Wesley work when he's better suited as a good guy.
Well, and it really, I don't know if it's going to necessarily damage his stock. This kind of feels like we're going to do this. It's going to be I don't know how long it's going to last, but at NXT anymore, before anybody goes up to the main, you're going to be heel and you're going to be face. They're going to run you both ways at NXT now. That seems to have been the pattern as of late. That you're going to get both, you know, sides of the highway before you go north. So it really could just be a matter of that. You know, just like we want to see what he can do as a heel. But like I said, it's working right now.
That's true. I wonder if there's a way that, just to bring it back to how personal this rivalry is, we still need to find a spot for Trey Miguel. Like, it feels like he's gonna side with Zachary Wentz, but they could add another layer to this. They could have him side with Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. There's still that X factor. He has been very much the third wheel in this story. God, he's not even a third wheel right now. He's a spare tire in a trunk somewhere. He's not even on TV with them at this point.
He's really selling that super kick.
My God, I'm sure we will see him Sunday.
Oh, absolutely.
But but
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. I didn't really give a lot of consideration to him potentially siding with West, but that would be that'd be an
And I
interesting
wonder
wrinkle
if
in the road there.
that's why they've kept him off TV. Because if they were just gonna have him align with Zachary Wentz, then okay, yeah, he can be on TV. We can strengthen that bond. But then, but even if even if Trey was gonna turn on him anyways, then you build that relationship, and we see it build on TV, and that's where we cut it down.
Well, I mean, he can even play it from the angle of it's like, you guys went to NXT without me. And then you guys were going after the tag titles and you were just going to do it again. And that's when he decided that he was
turns on them both.
Wentz. Yeah. There's so many ways they could go with this. And again, none of this will be happening without the prohibited portal being up with it.
It's the idea that, like, even just to hear more WWE guys going to a GCW event, like, never would have dreamed it possible, even 10 years ago. Right.
It's a wild time for sure to be a fan. But anything else you want to touch on that promo segment between those two?
I think that's pretty much it.
All right. So moving on through the show, real quick backstage, Trick Williams and Joe Hendry had a quick exchange there where Trick told him that he believes in Joe Hendry. Just kind of quick little crossing paths of the baby faces there. That is going to take us into our next match tonight. Kalani Jordan taking on a mystery opponent of Wendy Chu's choosing. And through the prohibited portal comes TNA Knockout Rosemary, to a great reaction from the crowd. That was a pretty rad surprise here tonight. I think predictably, though, Kalani Jordan does pick up the win here in 4 minutes and 21 seconds. After the match, the lights drop down. Chu appears on the screens around the arena and chokes out Kalani from behind ahead of their match this weekend at No Mercy. CJ, what'd you think of Rosemary being the surprise here tonight? Chu's attack after. How you feeling about this?
Well, and I mean, we talked about, I think it was on our Worlds Collide episode of Level Up, where I said getting someone like Rosemary some NXT time would be time well spent. So I'm glad they're watching, and I'm glad that they're giving her the chance to shine. The match itself, I don't know if it was the chemistry between Rosemary and Kalani, but I don't know, feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but it just didn't feel like it was that good a showing. It
didn't click, and
yeah.
I'm not certain that really gets shouldered on Rosemary.
No, unfortunately. Like, Rosemary's been doing this for a long time, and the casual NXT fan isn't gonna know how good Rosemary is. So there's hopefully gonna be an opportunity for Rosemary to have a better match. I don't think it's gonna be heading into No Mercy, but if they do decide to put the title on Wendy Chu and put an alliance together, then we might see more of Rosemary on NXT. We might see more of Wendy Chu in Impact.
Yeah. No, the possibility is virtually endless there. But yeah, I agree. The match didn't really quite get clicking like I wanted it to. And we've talked about Kalani a lot, how we've kind of went back and forth on this. I swear, it's like she'll take a big step forward and then a couple back, She, the match at Heat Wave was just absolutely phenomenal. And she's had a few other good showings in between there. but this wasn't one of them. And I do think overall this inaugural North American Championship run has been more difficult than not. I think it's had more bumps than smooth at this point, which that's not me saying, pull the plug on it by any means, but I don't know. I don't know if she was 100% ready for this position on the card.
On the one hand, I want to say it's only been like 3 months, but on the other hand, it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
And I remember we were kind of talking when it happened about, okay, this is going to be a sink or swim moment. Mm-hmm. Is she still treading water, or is she kind of like lips are the only thing above the surface?
I think we're starting to move to lips. Like, now, here's the thing, though. If you had asked me that 3 or 4 weeks ago, I probably would have said that her shoulders were still above the water at that point. But tonight was not helpful for her. And like I said, I like Kalani Jordan. She's got a lot of talent. She's a phenomenal athlete. But this doesn't work for her. We'll see what happens Sunday. Because obviously we're viewing this as fans and discussing it and analyzing it. Management's going to be looking at her in a whole different set or a whole different view. And we obviously don't know what Sean or anyone else in that company's thinking. But I mean, well, hell, obviously we'll know what they're thinking if they put the belt on Wendy Chu come Sunday. But that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's just not working. I want to see what the match Sunday looks like. Hopefully, it's a better showing. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough go. Like you said, I agree. It's only been 3 months, but it's been 3 months. So yeah. I think that's pretty astute there. But folks, from there, moving on, we had sad Jakara, Jackson, and Lash Legend. They lost again tonight, guys, and they weren't feeling it. They were a little down about this. And Oro Minza was there trying to get them, back pumped up, and he was quickly interrupted by Lexis King, who seems to show up when you are at your absolute lowest, just to make that's
give you a shovel.
Yeah, exactly. It's the epitome of it couldn't get any worse, right? Here comes Lexis King. But he's jawing at him, and Oro Minza taking kind of a low swing for a baby face, saying basically Lexis King's the way he is because he didn't have a father figure.
To be fair, he started it.
That's true. That's true. Don't pick up a pile of dirt if you don't want to get mud thrown back at you, I guess. But
exactly.
That was even I kind of lurched up at that one, but hey, you're right. He started it, and I'm sure that this will lead to a match here soon between
the note that I had written in here was they're not really doing anything with anyone here. This is another feud where I'm like, Lexis King is just not going anywhere.
No.
Has he plateaued?
I hope not. I really hope this is just like them being like, look, we're just going to kind of bounce him around lower card feuds until we can get him to the spot that we have in mind for him. I'm really hopeful that they have something, and it's just a matter of time, where it's just like, look, we don't have the slot quite open that we want to fill you into yet, so we're just gonna. I'm hoping, but at the same time, this isn't good for him to just kind of drift from meaningless feud to meaningless feud.
Yeah. It's already gotten old.
Yeah.
I
like it.
I
like the character. Yeah. I agree with that. Something meaningful and just of note. That's The most notable thing about this segment is the fact that we're talking about how nothing noteworthy is going to really come of this segment.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure the match will be good, though. The match will be fun.
There were various points that I thought throughout the show. Because, I mean, like, they didn't... Did they announce a match for next week based on this? Like,
I don't think so, no. I don't believe they announced anything for next week. I think all of the focus was on No Mercy Sunday.
Interesting. Okay, so there's probably going to be a match next week, whether it's announced or not.
Yeah.
But it still has to serve a purpose. So
Right.
if there isn't a match announced, what the fuck are they doing?
Filling 2.5 minutes of television time.
Oh god. I had that same thought though of they're not really doing anything with anyone during the Eddie Thorpe and Ashante the Adonis segment. But that's why I didn't catch what was happening in the background.
Yeah.
Like I had literally just finished writing. They're not doing anything with either of these guys. And then bam. It's like, okay, well, that's not the point anymore.
Yeah. I mean, and this did have a filler element to it. That's, there for a few weeks, Booker T was called Lexus King the television star, and it's at this point he's the television filler, which is just unfortunate. It's very. I'm still hopeful that there's something they have planned for him, and he will find his way to it, but it hasn't quite happened yet. But from there, we head into Chase U's classroom as they are still celebrating and enjoying their win during their hype up session here. In a sad moment from Duke Hudson, they were interrupted by Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Fraxium, I think we're called at one point. A solid segment here ahead of their match Sunday. I'm not sure how I feel about Fraxium as a.
I hate it. Please never say it again.
They said it. I did. Okay. Fraxium.
Did they say
better? They did. Riley Osborne said it.
Okay. If Riley Osborne said it, I don't know if that applies. I feel like it has to be either Fraser or Axiom.
That's fair.
That calls themselves Fraxium. But also shout out
than fatal.
God, no. Influence.
I was like, I want to say fatal, which is a better name.
Yeah, I was
a better name.
I was actually like, don't say attraction. Don't say attraction. Attraction. But while we're on the subject of Chase, you shout out to Riley Osborne heading to Ultimate X, and but now I'm blanking. I can't remember if that's contendership or for the X Division title. But I wanted to shout him out because he's a fantastic wrestler and he's gonna represent NXT well in TNA.
Absolutely. But after that segment, we had our next scheduled match on the card. We had Malik Blade taking on Brooks Jensen. Blade looking to get a little bit of vengeance here, and he would not have it as Brooks Jensen gets the win in 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Hey, Jensen sitting under Sean Spears' information bush is starting to pay off for him.
Information bush?
Well, it's not the learning tree.
I know, but that just sounds so porny. Sit under my information bush.
It does. It does. But I don't know what else to call it, and that's what I'm going to call it until they actually name it. So deal with that, Sean Spears. But no, solid match here. Like I said,
crazy start to the match though. Just immediately
just straight
diving.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
straight, which was good that they did that. That kind of, protected Blade a little bit in loss here, but I really dig what they're doing with Brooks Jensen, which again, like I said earlier, I can't believe I'm saying that I like what they're doing with Brooks Jensen. This is going well, and it's making him interesting. It's making Sean Spears more interesting. I like it. I will say I kind of wish they would have fed somebody else to him other than Blade, just because I've really been enjoying the turnaround that he and Idris and Ofe have been enjoying on Level Up, and I was hoping that those wins were going to start translating to NXT proper. Not yet.
I had it written in my notes. The streak is over.
They had a good thing going. Thing going, but damn it, they could not eke out that win on proper. But a good match, though. Good match.
Yeah. What can you do?
But from there, backstage, Sarah Schreiber caught up quickly with Javon Evans, who was saying that, Gallus
caught off guard about the interview, first of all.
Yeah.
I forgot we were doing this. I love this kid.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's just just booming with personality. Like, he's got that X, he's just so much fun in the ring, out of the ring, on the mic, in the air, every angle. He's a blast. But yeah, I like here, he was saying that, Gallus was saying that, like, he can't wrestle, but he's going to show him that he can, and he can throw hands. He's not just bouncy, guys. He can do it all. But that was, like I said, fun segment there. And again, just quick interview, showcasing his personality. I think that NXT, one of the things that they excel at are the short burst interview segments that, for as quick as they are, really showcase someone's character. They do a good job with that. Speaking of showcasing character, from there, we got an NXT proper signing of Hank and Tank, and they were talking about how they were never going to end up like Wentz and Lee. They're never going to split. Their bond is unbreakable. The tether will never be shattered, guys. But while they were talking about their unbreakable bond, OTM showed up, and they said that they weren't hungry for gold, just barbecue. And
barbecue all day.
Yeah, I mean, it can be both. Like, you don't have to choose between, like, championship desire and a delicious meal. These are
establish the NXT barbecue eating championship.
If I recall the Great American Bash weeks though properly, I feel like the main contenders in that were Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner, but they did have contests there. But so yeah, this was I think just setting up for an OTM and Hank and Tank match, which I look forward to. And no disrespect to OTM, but I hope Hank and Tank pick up the win when that inevitably happens.
I unfortunately have to agree with you, which isn't something I usually have to preface with, unfortunately. But I love Hank and Tank. Like, we talk week in and week out. Like, they are just, especially bringing in a guy that used to be the security guard and got called out for it on TV. Mm-hmm. And that's his debut. That's a rough few weeks. But then being able to align with Tank at the same time, and just their chemistry is fantastic. Tank Ledger in particular is a fantastic character. Like, his presentation is fantastic. I know I say fantastic a lot. It's just fantastic.
But it is. It really, really is. And they are just a blast to watch. And I look forward to their continued rise through the ranks. I think they definitely got to showcase their personalities during the Great American Bash weeks, and they're getting them in the ring more. So let's just get them more reps in matches, and it's going to make me happy. I don't know how everyone else in the NXT sphere feels about it, but it'll make me happy. So,
do we see a tag title opportunity?
I want to hold off on that. I don't want them to get that shot until I think they're going to actually get the belts. Let Chase U have their run. Let Hank and Tank over here. Let them get their wins. Let them build their wins up. Don't make a huge deal about it. Just let it quietly build a dominant win streak. Okay, and then eventually, you got to find a transitional heel team though, because I need Chase U to drop the belts to a heel team that would then drop them to Hank and Tank, unless Chase U turns heel at some point.
I don't think. Well, I think a split is still like not off the table, but we'll see how it goes.
We will see. But y'all, from there, we will move into the last match, the main event of the evening. Obviously, the main event was a segment. The main event match of the evening. The young OG, Javon Evans, taking on Gallus's Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey ends up with the win here in 8 minutes and 58 seconds.
That's great for Joe Coffey.
But yeah, there was definitely a lot of chicanery here. Wolfgang got himself involved. He played distraction. Mark Coffey ate a cutter for his troubles, and through all that, Joe Coffey was able to get the upper hand and beat Javon Evans. I think they made it very visually clear that Javon Evans would have won this match otherwise. And, I said this last week as well, but it's just the poor plight of the babyface right there. He got himself into a situation where there's 3 guys and he's just one. And you're not going to walk out with that, but hey, there's more story to be told here. And I look forward to more matches with the members of Gallus and Javon Evans. I think that they're a good group of guys for him to work with for a little while to maybe kind of get a little bit more of a grounded technique, learn a little bit more of that, traditional graps as it would be. But what'd you think of the match here tonight, man?
Well, I thought it was very entertaining. Like anytime I see Javon Evans in the ring, it's a good time. Like just his energy, his aura for the kids, and just he's very. Trying to think of the word that I want to use. Bouncy, obviously, but he's got that really good, bright learner energy. And that's really gonna work well for him on the notion of whether he's gonna turn heel or not. Like at some point down the road, if that is legally mandated in NXT.
I'm feeling like it might be,
but I don't know how he'd do as a heel. I know we're kind of getting a little off topic here, but I don't know. There'd have to be some major.
It would have to be quite the catalyst.
Yeah.
For that. It really would be. Because he is, like you say, he's just so bubbly and just so vibrant and bright. And again, he's got that. And, part of it might be his age. He's very young. And he's just so, happy. It's kind of hard to see negativity coming from someone of that age. There's almost like a naivete to it, and it's endearing, and you don't want to see bad things happen to him. You don't want to see someone do something underhanded to him. You almost feel protective of him as a character, and that would be hard. That'd be hard to turn. But hey, if anybody can do it, it's the minds down at NXT, right? You're muted, brother.
Oh, no, it's nothing important.
Oh, okay.
No, that was it.
All right, but solid, guys. But so from that match, we finally found out what was going on with Tony D. What the bad news was for Tony D'Angelo. It turns out that at the restaurant he frequents, Obafemi took his table.
And why is that an emergency, first of all? But second
All right.
of all,
CJ, I don't know how many friends of like Italian heritage you have, but I can tell you that
I get it
very seriously. It is a very serious deal. All right,
you're not using
encroach
it
on a man's meatballs. Okay,
You're not physically using it. That's the point I was trying to go for.
It's the Don's table. That's where the Don, eats his his Sunday sauce. This is it's his space. It's his it's a safe space. Actually, I feel like that's his garden. Oh my God! If Obafemi tramples his basil plants,
Oh, we are never going to hear the end of it.
no, that would be the most heelish thing he could possibly do. Would be to trample another man's delicious crisp basil. But no, I will say I like the exchanges between Tony D and Obafemi. I think that it's good. I don't think, honestly, and again, we'll talk more about this on Sunday, but I don't really think that Oba's going to be dropping this title anytime soon, but I think the match will be good, and I think this is going to be another test for Tony D. I think Tony looked good through the bulk of his Heritage Cup run, especially in those last couple matches, and I think this is going to be another big test for him. I don't know what the long-term plans for D'Angelo really are, but we'll see what he can do Sunday.
Well, they sometimes do a quarterly main roster call-up. So now that we're kind of heading into the next season of programming, or just the fact that SmackDown's moving to USA, maybe they get the call-up on the first night there.
Oh gosh, it's possible too. A lot of moving pieces right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
just have to wait and see.
That's exactly that's the fun, guys, of professional wrestling is watching everything unfold. But that is NXT for August 27th in a nutshell. Siege Man, before we hop into the jobbers and mega stars of the night, anything else on tonight's show that you wanted to touch on that we have not discussed?
Well, other technical difficulties notwithstanding, we do have the friends on the internet that we have to thank, of course, comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio, the best source on the internet for all your pop culture, wrestling, comic book stuff. Major issue show every Thursday. Be sure to check that out. Check out the Cold Case Project on YouTube as well. Shop DSR on our Shopify store, and you get the Delphin Pod shows available everywhere podcasts are found. And if you check out monk.com and want to order your essential diffusers, use code DSR10 and get 10% off your order.
Plug. Fantastic. But all right, folks, I think that we can now move in to the NXT Jobber of the Night. CJ?
I think...
Who you got tonight, man? Who you got?
I think I'm going to go with Ashante the Adonis.
Okay.
The very nature of his character is kind of icky to me.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's I don't know that it's a direction that I would want to see characters leaning. Like, I get that they want to go for edgier content, but this just feels gross, not edgy. I kind of mentioned it earlier too. I would much rather be seeing Cedric instead of Adonis, but that's neither here nor there. He's my jobber of the night for tonight, though.
That's fair. I understand. Like I said, I get where you're coming from with the dislike of that style of character. But I imagine he's going to just get his ass stomped at some point for being the way he is. But, sometimes that's cold comfort in that. He's kind of he's a gross dude, but it makes me want to see him get, knocked around a bit. But we'll see what happens with the Adonis. I went the whole week without calling him Adrian, though, so that's that.
There you go.
Yeah. But,
yeah,
you got to take him where you get him, So for my jobber tonight, I went a little more kayfabe reasoning, which I don't always do, but I'm sidling poor Malik Blade with the jobber of the night crown tonight, just because I was so excited that it was turning around for him and Enofe, and then the rug gets yanked out from under me, and boom, he's back on the losing side, back in the red, as it would be, and that's unfortunate. I was just hoping that it was going to start to crust up for them on proper. They're good. They're a great tag team, and I believe in tag teams. I guess at least it was a one-on-one loss and not a tag loss. Maybe they view them as more valuable as a tag team, so they're going to focus on that. I'm just trying to play my own devil's advocate here, I guess. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
We'll have to just wait and see what they do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry, Malik. You're my jobber of the night, but not Idris Enofe, just Malik Blade. Enofe, you were backstage. You were exempt from this.
He was tending to his wounds.
It's true. He was in medical thing now. So you can't make a man a jobber if he's in the medical bay. It's not fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. But from there, we're going to hop into the NXT Megastars of the night. Man, this kind of spread across a little bit here before, but I'm just going to go. It's Zachary Wentz. It's the segment in general. I love the segment, but I want to give it to Wentz in particular for his promo work tonight. It was just so full of emotion and compassionate. It was all other. Like I said, it was like he just kind of opened up his chest and showed his heart to the live audience tonight, and you felt every word of it. And it was phenomenal. And you talk about guys talking an audience into the arena. That was a talk you into the arena type of promo. It made you, if you weren't invested in that feud, if all you saw of that feud tonight was the video package and this, I feel like you'd still be sold on that match, and you'd still want to see him go in there and kick the shit out of Wesley. And it was just a phenomenal promo. I'm super excited for this match on Sunday. So Zachary Wentz is my megastar of the night. Of course, with a shout out to Wesley on that as well, because that promo didn't happen without Wesley's involvement, obviously. But CJ, who do you have tonight for your megastar?
My megastar of the night is not Zachary Wentz, but is another TNA wrestler. Which, can you believe that we have reached a point where two TNA wrestlers, current TNA wrestlers, are our NXT megastars of the night? Wouldn't have dreamed it.
Prohibited portal, baby. Prohibited portal.
But the fact that Joe Hendry has been able to light a fire under the WWE universe the way that he has is incredible, and they're really giving him the chance to raise his own stock and give them a reason to invest in the TNA relationship and in Joe Hendry even further. He has been an incredible representative for TNA so far, and very entertaining concert tonight as well. So He is my megastar of the night.
Absolutely great choice. Yeah, it's just he's got so much momentum, and it's just such a unique situation that he has been able to earn his way into here with his contract with TNA, being on NXT week after week, working at the Performance Center. It's wild. It's wild. It's so almost like an encapsulated way to make yourself a journeyman wrestler. It's interesting, and obviously he's worked all across the world anyway. But And it's not like he's a rookie at this, y'all. Like, he's been doing this for like a decade.
He's been in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada and Mexico.
And they all believe in Joe Hendry. And we do here as well at the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT Rewind. But yeah, fantastic. But guys,
that's a mic stand one of these days because I want to be able to
clap and yeet
more conveniently. Yeah, and yeet. That's the other one.
Gotta clap and yeet, you know. But guys, it is as wrestling fans. This is shit that matters. But guys, that's NXT pretty much in a nutshell. But you know, if you were with us live tonight on the first portion of the show and live on this portion of the show, I have fantastic news for you. We don't just cover NXT. I hope you know that. You probably already know that, but I'm going to tell you again. We're here every night. Dirt Sheet Radio is always on. Wrestling never stops, and neither do we. We are here Monday nights covering Monday Night Raw for you. We are here, obviously, Tuesday nights breaking down NXT, Wednesday nights for AEW Dynamite, and this is the follow-up, guys. Big show this week for Dynamite, followed up on All In from this past weekend, guys. Huge show, lots going on. Looking forward to that one. And, of course, Thursday nights are sibling shows, like to say, TNA Impact. Friday nights is for SmackDown. And, guys, if you're up very, very, very late on Wednesday nights, you can catch the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship program. But if you're not up super late and you got to be up in the mornings, just like I do, listen to it in the mornings. It's always posted by Thursday morning. Check it out then. But if you're up late, you can be live and be part of the conversation with the guys over there. And on Sundays, and it is happening this week, CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure. We will be back this Sunday breaking down NXT Level Up and previewing and giving our official predictions for NXT No Mercy. CJ, unfortunately, will not be able to be with us for the post show for No Mercy, but he will be on before, giving his predictions and insight into what he believes will be happening with us. And also on Sunday, guys, the 3NT podcast with one of the Christmas-looking graphics on all of the internet. They are live every Sunday, so be sure to check them out as well. Woo! It never stops. CJ, where can the good folks find you next, and where can they see you on the internet?
Well, I'm usually here for Mondays to recap Raw, Tuesdays for NXT, Fridays for SmackDown, the occasional premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call them, whatever corporation you want to shill for. Except for No Mercy, unfortunately, I have other work-related duties, but otherwise I'm on Twitter at CJCarter22, existing there and existing here.
Hell yeah. And I am Tyler.
And Sundays, of course, on Sundays, CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure every Sunday. I have to start incorporating that into my diatribe better.
They know. They're well, as we get,
it's still a recent addition.
It is, and like I said, unfortunately, the last couple of weeks we had just a bunch of shit coming up and weren't able to make it out there. But we will be back there live this weekend with that, and yeah, like I just said, I obviously be there with him for that one, and I'm gonna unfortunately miss Raw here probably for the next couple weeks. Just like I said, just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in the real world, as it is in the non-kayfabe world. But yeah, the shoot world, as it would be. But typically I am on Monday nights for Raw. Obviously Tuesday nights here breaking down NXT. Sundays for Level Up. And PLE's when I can make it in. And of course, I will be here Sunday night after No Mercy for that. But guys, we want to thank you again so much for tuning in with us tonight. And we'll see you live again tomorrow night for Dynamite. We love you all. Have a lovely night, everyone.